Prepared speeches or semi-prepared speeches are about to start, and I would like to invite Arlinda Smith up here.
No. First I need my introduction.
Okay. Oh, okay. Then I would like Ed to come up here and introduce everyone.
Good morning. First of all, I'd like to apologize because of the machination of nature, of fate. I did not budget time for my own prepared speech. So I've given the pleasure to give an introduction. When you present a speech, you must be very clear about what you want your audience to know at the end of your speech. In her speech, Arlinda will introduce you to general and specific purposes of a speech. She will also talk about her supporting main points of your speech. Arlinda has been an active Toastmaster for more than 7 years, along with her husband and supporter Ken. She is currently the Vice President of Education for our club. Please help me welcome Arlinda Smith with general and specific purposes of a speech. General and specific purposes of a speech, Arlinda Smith.
Thank you, Ed, for that warm introduction. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and of course, Ed, you're our honored guest. After listening to a speech one night, Arlinda asked her husband Ken, what was the point of that speech? Ken replied, I don't have a clue, because the speaker wasn't very clear on his purpose of that speech. It was like the symbol for infinity. It never came to an end. Now, we don't want that as Toastmasters. We go through a lot, choosing a topic, writing our speech, practicing and putting it together, and then giving our speech. And as the audience, we give our time to come and listen to a speech. So we want to be able to get something out of it and know what that was about. Well, after hearing my speech today, you'll be able to identify general and specific purposes in your speech, and you will also understand how to use the main points in your speech. Now, there are two types of purposes in a speech. The first is a general purpose, and the second is a specific purpose. So let's talk about the general purpose in your speech first. The general purpose is a broad intent of your speech, or the bigger picture. It is the overall canvas that you paint to your audience, and it falls into one of these categories. It can be to inform. You want your audience to learn about a new subject. Once I became infatuated with fans in the Victorian era, and I came and gave that speech to the club. Another would be to develop a new skill. You want your audience to develop a new skill. I write haiku, so I came in and showed everybody how to write haiku in one of my speeches. Or you may want your audience to learn more about something else. I came and I gave a speech about heroes. I am really surprised at how many varied speeches I've given over the years. For example, lectures, briefings, and demonstrations would fall under this. The general purpose of my speech today is to inform you all. Or number two, your general purpose could be to persuade. It strives to change attitudes and behaviors, or to convince the audience to accept your ideas, or definitely to take some kind of action. Examples. We've had sales presentations given by both Ken and Conda, I believe, and also campaign speeches would fall into this category. Number three would be to entertain. It strives to give enjoyment to your audience. Example, it can be filled with humor or funny stories that might interest your audience. At one of our Toastmaster conferences, we listened to Tony Brigman, the Goodwill Ambassador for Southwestern Airlines, as he gave a wondrously humorous speech about his job and his family. And we still remember that today. Midnight train to Georgia, for anyone who's ever been there. Number 4 would be to inspire. Ask the audience to reach for more nobler goals or to reach for their highest potential. An inspirational speech draws on the emotions and the sentiment of your audience. Kind of like a car salesman would do, right? Example, I gave a speech not too long ago on values. I wanted to inspire you to reach for those higher values. Well, now let's talk about that specific purpose. The specific purpose of a speech narrows your general purpose. It makes it easier for us to fit it into an allotted time slot. Brings it down like this. And it helps your audience get more clearly get the point of your speech, because your speech isn't out here with all these ideas, but it's in here with more specific ideas. And it should cover these 3 things. 1, it should be worded from the audience's viewpoint. From your audience's viewpoint. It should be specific. The wording should be precise, so it paints mental pictures into the mind of your audience. And it should be realistic and please possible for your audience to achieve. Example, I would say of my speech today. After hearing my speech, you will be able to identify general and specific purposes in my speech, and you will also understand how to use the main points in your speech. That is my specific purpose. My general purpose, if you remember, was to inspire. It was to inform. Now, once you've written your specific purpose of your speech, you're ready to add in your main points. Your main points support the specific purpose. For example, my speech, for example. My first main point was the general purpose. My second main point was my specific purpose, and my third main point were the main points that support. So in closing, don't leave your audience in a lurch like poor Ken and Arlinda couldn't figure out what was going on in that speech. But always make your audience leave with the point of your speech clearly understood. Do this by using general and specific purposes and using your main points which clearly support your purpose, and everyone will come out a winner.
Okay.
Mr. Toastmaster.